everyone, and welcome back to Final Fantasy XVI. This is episode 11. Last time, we infiltrated the capital to destroy the Mother Crystal, and we succeeded. It was a tremendous spectacle, to say the least. The story events that took place blew my mind. Getting a confirmation that Margrace is indeed Joshua, the reveal of Ultima, Ramuh's power being transferred to Clive after Cid's noble sacrifice, a 5-year time skip as well. A 5-year time skip, just casually. I have so many questions on what's happened in the time since the Mother Crystal faded away. Over here, Drake's Head's crystal is no more. There are only 3 crystals left. We are currently here. We're in a town. We're in a city, and obviously we're sort of like recovering from the hideaway, only just for us being destroyed by Hugo, by Titan. But it's 5 years later, so we're returning to the hideaway again, but I don't know what kind of state it's in, whether we've rebuilt it, decided to just move back in after it was absolutely decimated, but we'll find out. We're operating under the moniker of Cid now. We are Cid the Outlaw. In this 5-year gap, we've taken on Cid's mission. So the people know us as Cid, but also as Clive. So it's a whole thing. But we've got the power of Ramuh now, so we've got 3 iconic abilities, and that is so much fun to be able to switch and play around with. But let's go to the hideaway so we can see what is next for us. Benumia.
That night 5 years ago, we destroyed what for many was a symbol of hope, for a reason they'll never know. We cannot blame them for thinking us the cause of their misery. Though it's to give them a better tomorrow, they see only that we've made their lives harder today. Yet the boil must be lanced if it is to heal.
I can't help but wonder if we've made the right choice.
When Cid said that he wanted to create a world where we were free to choose our own path, I honestly don't think it mattered to him if that choice was right or wrong. Only that it was our own.
I miss him.
A world where we can live and die as equals. That's what he wanted. What we want. And that's why I bear his name. It's why we've all chosen to bear his legacy. And I'm not going to let anything stand in our way.
Rides over, lovebirds, home sweet home.
Obulus, the boatman. Huh. The hideaway being in an old airship. This feels very Final Fantasy X to me, this location. Like the ruins of Kilika. That sort of same sort of vibe. Home sweet home. Okay.
Otto was asking after you. Let's go and see him.
Otto's still alive? Wow. Hang on a second. Whoa. Okay. We're in an airship. Clive's chambers. Blackthorn survived, Karen survived. So the main deck is a haven and an atrium. This is cool, but like, where are we on the map though? Because we've gone here for the hideaway, but there's no water here. We're in a different spot. That's weird, right? Huh. So I'm like, oh, we're returning. But this looks very different. I'm a bit confused. Okay.
Last I saw, he was in the mess, as always.
I'm a little confused as to our current location. Like, did Hugo mess this place up so badly that it then, like, flooded with, like, water and we are in that location on the map, or what? But
Welcome back, Sid.
very impressive. Damn, so even the people at the hideaway just all refer to us as Sid as well.
Otto will want to know what happened in Cosnus. I expect he'll be in the mess.
Costness was the...
I seen schoolboys swing harder.
Yeah, I get Final Fantasy X vibes here. Alright, let's check this new location out. The new hideaway in the ruins of an airship. Will it become an actual functioning working airship at some point? That would be cool.
Look, it's Sid.
Staying long this time?
Wow. Well, it has been 5 years, so I guess building up a brand new hideaway is very possible.
Clive. Is everything all right?
Yep, so we've got people calling us Sid and people calling us Clive. That's definitely not going to get confusing. We are both Sid and Clive. The spoony bard is now Lucan Lark's tongue.
As hither yon dance autumn winds atop the rotten pier. Of Sid's return the faithful sing across the blighted mere. As hither yon dance autumn.
I am a tinker by trade, but I've always been fascinated with the art of healing. If only there were a salve to mend a broken engine.
Ah. Broken engine for the airship.
Sign outside should have told you. Yeah, the sign outside should have told you.
But there's no sign.
Tet and Crow.
Have we any more knuckle pies?
Oh, sadly not. Molly used the last of the chocobo in the stew.
To marinate yard chocobo, prepare hen by draining blood and removing both head and feet. Offal, particularly the heart and liver, should be set aside for later use. Stir into a deep bowl watered wine, preferably of the red variety, honey, salt, pepper, nutmeg, and any other seasonal savory herbs if you so desire. Add to the bowl the dressed bird and let lay in a dark room for a single turn of the sun. Break the breastbone and ready your force meat thusly. Chop together the heart and liver of the chocobo and mix it with the crumb of a stale balm and pepio or kupo nuts, soaked in boiled cream, beaten mace, and as much thyme as will lie on a gill penny, and fill the bird, but not overly so. Lard the breast with boar bacon and spit the bird, tying it at both ends that the force meat not spill into the coals. Roast until skin is golden brown, taking care to baste regularly with drippings. Kenneth. Thank you, Kenneth. Very cool. Hour terms. Okay.
What can I get you, Sid?
Oh. Oh. Buy a round for the hole. 10,000 gil. You know why that's there? Because they were like, damn, there's nothing for you to spend your money on in this game. So just buy everyone a drink for 10,000 gil. Also, 500 gil for a drink seems mighty steep, love.
How am I getting on? Ah, about as well as you'd expect of a barmaid pouring sour ale for penniless outlaws in the middle of the Deadlands. And it'd be worse than that if Molly here didn't make the best stew this side of Stone here, even if it is mostly just yesterday's leavings. Don't tell her you heard that from me, though.
So it is in the middle of the Deadlands.
Not leaving already, are you?
It must have. This must just be like Hugo caused such devastation to this region that it like flooded the middle of the. I don't know. Desperately trying to figure out where the hell we are. Karen's taken up smoking in honor of Sid.
Well, don't just stand there gawping.
Ask about the past 5 years and ask about the hideaway.
Well, you won't hear me complaining.
It's even roomier than the old one was. Got my own stores, my own little counter. And thanks to you lot fighting the good fight, plenty of demand for me wares.
The only drawback
is the constant bloody racket. If it's not Doris and Otto barking their orders, it's Blackthorn and Bardolph banging away day and night.
Still,
if a pain in the ear hole's the price I have to pay to be Sid the Outlaw's partner in crime, I'd say I've got myself a bargain. Alright. Has it really been 5 years since we left the old place? How time flies.
I remember it like it was yesterday.
We were all waiting to treat Sid to a hero's welcome when Kupka's lot turned up. Not that we knew it was them, they just poured in like a plague of rats, cutting down anyone and anything that stood in their way. Blood and bodies everywhere there was, and a voice crying out for Sid to save us in the midst of it all. I'll never forget those cries, try as I might.
You're our leader now, Clive.
Promise me you won't let anything like that happen again. Promise me that come what may, Sid will save us. Sure. We'll just make sure that Hugo doesn't find out about this place.
Go on then.
5 years and no bloody inventory update. Unfucking believable. Oh, hang on, we've got some new... There we go, we've got some nice accessories. The only things that updated in the inventory is the accessories. No new weapons. Maintaining an ethereal charge can prove as deadly to a bearer as unleashing the magic itself. These earrings are believed to assist in the channeling of aether by reducing the amount drawn from the body and augmenting it with ambient aether from the environment. Automatically charges magic spells and maintains the charge until cast. Okay. Crimson is the color of the blood that feeds my rage, and cobalt is the color of the blade that feeds my pain. So just limit break generation. Okay, we got some orchestrion rolls. Ooh, they have added elixirs to the game. Affluent nobles obsessed with finding the secret to eternal life have created an unprecedented demand for this quality herbal concoction, heretofore rarely used outside of battle. As such, its asking price has bloated to so great an extent that few soldiers can actually afford it. Instantly restores all HP. Nice. Things to actually spend money on. Alas, it's bloody expensive. We'll buy one.
You're rubbing me blind, you know.
10,000 gil, Karen. Chill out.
It'd better all be here.
Alright, now I haven't been here in ages, so we could probably make a decent coin selling some gear here. Ooh, I'm going to equip the breath of fire.
I'll be thankful you got that much.
Might be able to sell a decent amount of crafting items, that, considering the fact that we're sitting on hundreds of the damn things. For 500 sharp fangs, you can get one elixir, essentially.
Finished, are you?
Does that one have blood on it?
Utes.
Dave!
You're back! You didn't happen to run out of potions while you're away, did you? We've a fine selection of tonics and tinctures. Or perhaps you'd be interested in some new accoutrement. Gear.
Clive? Things here ain't too bad.
I suppose. I've got decent hammer, decent anvil, an apprentice that knows his hammer from his cock. Oh, and the furnace is alright and all thanks to old Sid's bellows. The gods only knows how I'd keep the coals hot enough on the mere without them. Not with bloody crystals, that's for sure.
Nah.
I reckon you won't find a forge like this anywhere else in the Twins, and I count myself lucky to work it. Thanks for keeping me on. You need anything, you give us a shout.
You've forgotten already? Because I haven't.
It was a right pain in the arse getting this place into shape, especially with the mess we were in. Not that it was anything new for those of us who put the old hideaway together.
Still.
That don't mean I intend on doing it again. Alright.
What do you want?
We can craft the Levin bolt with the flame tongue and the lightning shard.
Not bad, if I do say so myself.
So we've now upgraded to the next one. From heaven on high, far did his bolt fall, for to deliver justice. And then we cannot craft anything else. Honestly, it just makes me wonder why we have so much crafting items. Like, crafting is really useless in this game. I genuinely feel like if we were able to improve our, like, weapons that we currently have and gear past +2, that would be really nice. It's a very, very shallow crafting system. Like, you can make a weapon and only go up to a +2 on green tier weapons that you won't even touch because you're using these bad boys, and then these can't be upgraded. And then you can't reinforce your accessories that much either.
Anything else?
It's a cool looking sword though. I do think that Jack in the amateur Twitcher and his rat. But I definitely think that the system probably just shouldn't even be in the game. It just has like that little depth to it, you know, that it feels like a waste, even including it, you know.
Look, Sid, Squeaks wants to meet you. I can keep him, can't I? Can't I?
No, I'm afraid you're going to have to throw the rat overboard, sir.
This plank will have to be replaced.
Nearly half the crates were lost to bandits.
But half weren't, and their contents will see us through the season. Where did I put that sack of love?
That they bloomed at all is a blessing in itself.
Oh, hang on. Oh no. For a second there I was like, this looks like it's like almost the original, like I thought I might have been descending into the part of the original hideaway or something.
Water.
This tongue here pulls the black from the lake water and renders it clear. You'll have to ask Mid if you want to know how it works, though.
Nice water filtration.
Much was lost when the first hideaway fell. Colleagues and friends. Years of hard work. But we did not let that loss defeat us. And our work will not be in vain. No. The spirits of our fallen comrades live on in every leaf and limb you see here.
Experimental record. Bohumil, the head botanist. Mixed equal parts first-rate vineyard humus from Goltland's bales with Deadland soil. Of the 6 cuttings planted therein, 2 survived to flower, only to wither and die within a senite. Even amalgamated within the finest imperial loam, the blighted earth is still affecting a nutritional deficiency. It might be remedied with some further source of nourishment, saltpeter or potash, or the dung of a racing chocobo. This shall be the subject of my next round of experiments. So we've got the people that looks like they perished. It seems Kenneth and Bohumil and stuff perished. Not everyone survived, but their records remain. The foundations of Valistean botany, moorball tendrils. After excising from the trunk, dry for 3 to 5 turns of the sun until brittle to the touch. Grind in mortar and add to warm Kuel milk to remedy gout, melancholy, and moon sickness. Caution recommended when harvesting, as the host may grow disquieted. So something to note in terms of the moorbowls is they used to be called Malboros, and I was like, I guess I'm not used to them being called moorbowls recently. I think they've gone through sort of a naming change. And I remember when we faced it very early on in the playthrough that I was like surprised by the bad breath and being like, oh, maybe there'll be an actual bigger, proper Malboro that you'll get hit by, and it'll give you all the status effects that bad breath is known to do. But then it took me a really long time for it to click and go, wait a minute, there's no status effects in this game. So it makes the sort of threat and appearance of a moorball feel so inconsequential as a result, because coming across a Malboro in earlier Final Fantasy titles is terrifying. Because they sleep, silence, berserk, confuse, poison, petrification, like all of it. They'll just like breathe on you and you're done for. I feel like status effects would have been such a nice thing to put into this game. It definitely would not have been a bad thing to do at all. It looks like in Clive's chambers we've got the Wall of Memories. So it looks to me that Tomes unfortunately has not survived. He was already quite aged, so even if he did survive, maybe in this 5-year gap, he might have died just by old age, which is sad.
3 for curling geese.
Ah, Sid. We were just about to start our next lesson. You're welcome to join us, but be warned. I tolerate absolutely no tomfoolery.
No tomfoolery. Book of Sums. Old Farmer Otto keeps both chocobos and antelopes. After 5 of his stock fell ill, he put them in his barn to rest. However, Otto woke the next morning to discover that a leg eater had found its way into the barn and devoured 3 of the limbs on one of his antelopes. To make certain all remaining legs were accounted for, he did a tally and was satisfied when he counted 13. How many chocobos were in the barn? Both chocobos and antelopes. 5 of his stock fell ill. He put them in his barn to rest. The leg eater had found its way into the barn and devoured 3 of the limbs on one of his antelopes. Certain all remaining legs, he did a tally and was satisfied when he counted 13. So there should be 16 legs all up. How many chocobos are in the barn? So 5 of his stock, which is 5 chocobos. So there was I'm confused now. I'm not good at Final Fantasy maths. So there were 5 chocobos that he put in the barn, but then there was...
Can't catch a wink with all the clamour in the hall. The atrium's quiet this time of day.
I haven't been to school in years. I'm not about to go back. My math days are long behind me. Remember learning algebra and going, can't wait to never use that in my life. And I was right.
Sid, what's the special occasion?
Seeing you, my love.
If you think Jill won't mind.
If you think Jill won't mind.
The Lordsman says I can borrow as many books as I can carry. This was all I could carry.
Alright. Oh, hang on. It looks like from here. No. From lower down. Can go across. Getting to know the new hideaway. I love the ambient music of all of the locations. So nice.
No one works longer or harder than our Otto. You can scour the whole of Storm and Ash, and you won't find a better man.
That's a homeless romantic? A hopeless romantic for you.
How'd you manage that?
I had some help, but it was mostly luck. The others weren't so lucky.
I expect there'll probably be some side quests around here at some point. Compendium of Rosarian verse. The rills run red with brave men's blood, and to the talons flow in flood, then out to sea. But those same souls whose souls are touched by flames in phoenix claws are clutched, and ne'er shall die. So dry thine eyes, thy groom is gone, but in thy babe his light lives on, and so shall he. Cannot go down there.
Lady Tyre is performing a delicate operation and must not be disturbed. I'll let her know. You called?
A delicate operation. Hoopo's here. Hey, we got a board. Cool. What is this? Is this a bounty board? You're wondering what this new board is behind me, aren't you? All in good time, my furless friend. All in good time. Ooh. Okay.
I hope you don't mind, Sid. I changed the linens in your chambers while you were away.
One second, Otto.
War is brewing. I can feel it.
Oh, this is going to be a character in a cutscene soon. Vivian, very well dressed, looking like a new side character for us to meet. Love that. A history of Alistaean jurisprudence, the Continental Accord. The signing of the Continental Accord marks the beginning of the modern era of Valistea, where the realm had once been riven by hatred and mistrust. The Accord built bridges, affecting many of the areas of realm-wide cooperation that persist to this day. The shared currency, shared calendar, and common system of bearer ownership, chief among its epoch-making achievements. Alas, in the years since the Accord's signing, many of these old rifts have reopened. It is for us to follow in the footsteps of our forebears, and wholeheartedly endeavor to usher in a new age of peace and unity. What room is this? The map room, okay.
All operations are suspended until further notice.
Doris.
Yes, Captain. I'll let the others know.
Doris, August, and Tarek. Where are Biggs and Wedge, man?
Have you finished sorting those reports yet?
Ah, Gout's still here.
I ain't started. Been busy enough with my own work.
You're pulling my leg, aren't you? Otto's gonna skin me alive.
Tyler and Wade. Was it Tyler and Wade, I think? Should have just been Biggs and Wedge. Honestly. Let's check out Clive's quarters. We'll check out the Book of Memories because that is... that's what we're definitely needing to investigate for, because there was a bunch of lore entries that we have not read yet that we specifically were going to wait. So we can repeat that little adventure into Cosnes.
Once the hall's swept, it's over to the tavern.
Clive's chambers, eh? I've got a balcony. Nice little view I've got. Got me one of them birds, I do. A wall of memories, big ass trunk. Oh, hang on. The Oath. Oh, hang on, this is different. The Oath, created the day Clive pledged his allegiance to Cid. This crystal shard transfixed with twin daggers is a powerful reminder of a promise made, a friendship forged, and a legacy inherited. Oh, so we just have one... We only just have the one thing on here. Oh, this is not the tomes. Well, shit. Where are my tomes? I've got lore that I need to read. Alright. Not yet, then. Where's my lore? My lore guy. Unbelievable. I have been robbed of my lore guy. So Gav's not here, but I expect he's probably on a mission because he survived. He just took a bit of a... He's lost an eye. My Chocobo Ambrosia lost an eye. It's 5 years later and I still don't have a reunion with my Chocobo, god damn it. Where is she? Alright, Otto. Spill the beans, please.
Ah, there you are, Clive. Word of your adventures arrived this morning. Victor sent his thanks.
I doubt Kupka will miss the fools he sent to catch me. Not a single one of the bearers we saved showed any interest in coming with us. No one seems keen to join hands with an outlaw. Any news while we were away?
None worth mentioning. Gav's still off keeping an eye on the Republican army.
One eye.
Should be back any day now.
Understood. If anyone needs me, I'll be in the map room.
With the new character.
Still can't work that one out. There must be better places than the hull of a gutted airship to bury your nose in a book.
Yet this is where she's chosen to be. And I'm sure she has her reasons.
Okay.
I learned something new. You'll be the first to know. Now off you go.
Alright, let's introduce ourselves to Vivian.
I'd trust I'm not intruding.
Back from your mission? I'm beginning to think your habit of surviving cannot be attributed to luck alone.
One might say the same of you, Vivian Ninetails.
I'll have you know that only 4 attempts have been made on my life, and none was especially memorable. So, to what do I owe the honor? Could it be that you've come for one of my lessons?
Is that so hard to believe?
Very well, then. Shall we start with the state of the realm? To absolutely no one's surprise, she finds herself at the mercy of armies and outlaws. Well, mostly armies. Though that's not for want of trying, is it, Clive? But the real question is, how did we get here?
Is this our new lawkeeper, then?
Long though Sambrek's dominion over northeastern Storm has endured, recent days have seen the Blight wrest ever more land from her grasp. For which reason she has continued to wage war on her rival across the strait, hoping to claim less blackened pastures. But Odin would sooner pawn his sword than Waloed relinquish Ash. And the Empire pays dearly for every blade of grass bent beneath Sambrequois boots. Little wonder then that Sylvester set his sights on the crystalline dominion,
An altogether easier target, possessed of no less ether. It was 5 years ago, while you were busying yourself with the destruction of Drake's head, that the Empire made its move, subjugating its theretofore neutral neighbor. A nation which could legitimately claim to be the center of the world. Certainly, there is no better place to stage an army. From there, the Holy Empire's reach spans the Twins. The non-aggression treaty was the only thing keeping them in check. But if they truly broke the pact without provocation, it is only a matter of time before others reply in kind. The Holy Empire, the Dhalmekian Republic, the Kingdom of Waloed, and of course, our friends in Yaran. Who will be left standing, I wonder, when the last drop of blood is spilled?
That's so cool. I really liked that presentation.
You were born in Twinside. Do you not fear for your home?
Oh, dark clouds are wont to gather over the Dominion. Yet in spite of it all, she has ever endured. And when the storm has passed, I am confident she will remain. Now, as to the matter of payment for today's lesson, complete a simple errand for me and we shall consider ourselves even.
Even? Right.
Return this volume to old tomes in the shelves. Tell him it was, adequate.
He still lives.
I suppose it wouldn't hurt to visit our resident historian.
Hippocrates lives. Okay. So we've got an update on the state of the realm, but then we've also in the shelves. Oh, that's over there. Oh, it was closed, wasn't it? That's the one that was closed, right? Nice, we can speak with him. That was a really cool presentation. I liked that. So the Empire and its armies moved away from Sembrek when we went in to destroy Drake's head, which was great timing. And now they are kind of at the center of the world. But it's kind of interesting. A world with only 2 continents. I'm trying to imagine the spherical nature of that, of what that would look like, you know? Because it looks like they're surrounded by a lot of ocean. Very interesting world setup there.
Here for another of my lectures.
This is cool, so we can view the state of the realm.
Allow me to educate you.
Oh, yeah. By speaking with Vivian in the Hideaway's map room, Clive can view the state of the realm and learn more about the current goings-on in Valistea, revisit any of the Nine Tails past lessons, or take a deeper look at the relationships of those individuals in Clive's orbit. Oh, whoa. Okay, hang on. What
of course.
Oh my god, what is... Oh, sit down, what is going on here? Here you can view a detailed visualization of character relationships in Final Fantasy XVI that updates as you progress through the main scenario. Oh my god. Oh my god, it's a full timeline. Holy shit. Oh my god. This is like Kingdom Hearts 2 when it has like the character trees that are all linked to each other as well. Oh my god. Okay, hang on a minute. This is like full recap shit. And it's the lore with tomes as well. Like it's all of this. It's everything. All of the lore everywhere. Puppy, this is mind-blowing. Childhood friends, best friends, sworn to shield. Oh man, man and wife. All of the relationships. Dude. General Dog's body. Wow, all of the relationships here. This is so cool to see. Huh. That's interesting. It's all the way over there. Okay. I wonder if we'll see the attendant again. Because we've only been seeing Margrace, aka Joshua, for a while. So we can start seeing when people started to die, when they were revealed as, like, dominants. Oh my god. There's so much here. All of the relationships. And then this is all of the lore that I have yet to take in, which I'm going to check with tomes. I think the easiest way to do it is go to tomes and read it that way instead of this way, because this is just overwhelming. We're in the era of Sid II. God damn, okay, so that's the grand cast of everyone. An overview of current and past Valisthian affairs.
One's place in the world.
Here you can view a detailed overview of current and past events relevant to Clive's story that updates as you progress through the main scenario. Use L1 and R1 to cycle through pivotal milestones in Clive's adventure. Dude, what's so fucking strange about this is it feels like the game just started now. Like there's something about this that it just was like, now the real game has begun. You know what I mean? And I thought that we had hit that point when we, like, ages ago, but now I'm like here and I'm like, why does it feel like this is the game now? Everything we've done before was nothing. You can see, oh my god, the detail on this is really well done. I love this. The Iron Kingdom, Drake's Breath. You like seeing all of the movements of all of the different factions that move into the different places here. And oh my god, this is amazing. The just straight up full entire recap on everything here is amazing. My battery level is low. And then again, this is stuff that just all links to the lore entries as well. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Wow. Vivian Ninetales, and then we've got the past lessons, so they can be like updates.
Very well.
Cool. So we get to rewatch those. That's an incredibly in-depth relationship and story recap system. That's awesome. I love that. We're going to check in with Tomes first and see what he has to offer, because we've got all of the lore entries that we haven't read yet, and I feel like the best way to do that is to review them with him. And I've probably clicked on some entries with Vivian that I am kind of scared might have marked them as read, for lack of a better word. So we'll make sure to double over some things with Harpocrates. For example, I think we looked at the Drake's Head entry after its fall, so we'll double check. The Sins of Zemachus, An Illustrated History of the Twins, Volume 4, Tales of the Founder, Mort d'Olivier. He's got a goddamn full library now. I wonder if Clive would be able to activate any of this technology. Mithril, a mineral most mighty. Introduction. Mithril is a material both passing hardness and luster, and it is these two qualities for which it is valued by the weapon and armorsmiths of the realm. However, there is a third quality of mithril that sets it apart from steel or shell, its durance. While even the finest steel may be melted by dragon's fire, become brittle in frigid climes, or turn to rust if not regularly and rightly oiled, mithril is, once made, eternally unchanging. In this volume, I will explain how one might go about making, shaping, and employing mithril in one's work.
Oh, Tome said the hideaway is built inside an airship. Said it was called the Invincible.
Invincible? Anyone want to keep these candles away from these books? You want to burn down the library? Simeon's Treasure of Knowledge, Volume 11th. Yea, Treasure of Beasties. Yea, seas which gird about ye land of Valasteia on all sides doth churn most throtile with diverse and deadly creatures. Among these are beasts more prodigious in size than entire islands, yet customarily as placid as yea, very doldrums. Yet lo, when they do awaken, towering waves are driven forth like in proportion to great mountains. Yea, people of yea outer seas in which these creatures dwell doth live in great terror of yea writhing isles, as certain chroniclers make record of their being known. How'd I do? Immaculate reading. Harpocrates, you have not aged a day. Wow. So we're putting the library in, like, the bridge of the ship. I hope we never have to fly this. You're going to have to move your whole library.
Norseman Harpocrates.
Now that is a name I have not heard for a long time. So long, in fact, I had half forgotten it was mine. Welcome home, Clive. You were missed, as always.
I believe this belongs to you. Vivian asked me to return it.
On Gods and Men, a heavy leather-bound tome containing the findings of one Anaximander of Canva, a renowned theologian who spent most of his life chronicling Valasteia's diverse religious history. Nice. Now, this episode is very much clearly the return to the hideaway and soaking in the 5-year gap. I think in a story like this, and in a game like this, it is so nice to have an episode which was massive that we had last episode, almost 3 hours, and then chill out a bit and soak in the fact that we've just had a 5-year time skip and catch ourselves up on the state of the world. And if you know me, you know how much I love me lore and reading up on my lore and making a very methodical approach as we work through it as well. We love taking our time in games like this and not rushing through it. A lot of people love to skip dialogues and skip cutscenes and skip all the lore because they just want to kill enemies, and to each their own. But I love a slow episode like this in our story because it's a journey and we're on a journey through this playthrough together. And I love that we get an opportunity to have a big action-packed, mind-blowing episode like last one. And then today we get to just relax, and it's cozy. It's the Final Fantasy podcast lore episode where we just get to soak it all in.
Ready? Our resident scholar devours books faster than young Tet does lemon tarts. Would that I could do the same, but alas, I no longer possess the necessary constitution for such indulgence, either in words or tarts. That said, I have continued my search for mention of the creature you encountered at Drake's Head. But without access to the great libraries of Oriflamme or the Dominion, I regret that I have been able to find little and less. I am sorry.
Please, don't apologize. I'll send word to our associates, see if they can't furnish you with more books.
I fear it is not more books that I require, but the right ones. Mayhap we look in the wrong places. There are still libraries to the north.
I'll see what I can do.
You are too kind. There are not many in this world who would indulge the whims of a tired old historian.
Not too tired to go filching Kupo nuts, though. Always got a pocket for him. Nicks him off the Moogle.
Hush now. We all know there's no such thing as Moogles.
Interesting.
The twins seem well.
Aye. Yet they laugh far too little for one so young. The loss of their parents weighs heavy on them, however well they hide it. Titan took much from us that night, from some more than others, and the wounds that remain, they are not quick to heal.
Which is why we must give them all the time they need.
That we must. Just as I must give you the time you need to recuperate. Good day, Clive.
Good day.
God damn, I love this game.
We'll be back soon. I should get some rest while I can.
I think what's crazy is like Final Fantasy 15, and if you haven't played Final Fantasy 15, I'm gonna wave my hands in the air and say just a quick spoiler thing, and then I'm gonna wave my hands in the air, so plug your ears. I'll wave my hands in the air when I'm done. Final Fantasy 15 has a time skip of a significant proportion as well, where Noctis gets sucked into the crystal, and then years go by as darkness covers the land, and everyone's fighting against demons for so many years while Noctis fights his own battle inside of a crystal. And then they release a multiplayer expansion that covers that time frame a little bit as you play as, you know, a different character in a multiplayer setting. And then there was the cancelled Episode Noctis DLC. I think that was the DLC that was going to cover that event, or there was going to be more story to cover that time gap. And now I'm going to stop talking about episode Final Fantasy 15. And then it would be cool if we got some expansion in the form of like a DLC or like an expansion where we could maybe play more stories or see stuff that has taken place in the last 5 years, because that's a significant amount of time for Clive and the world. Like, surely there's been some significant movements and battles and stuff that's taken place in the last 5 years. Like, nobody just stopped doing things and went to sleep, you know? Like, 5 years is a lot compared to just how much that we managed to do in the time that we've played the story of the game so far. And something that's kind of the biggest thing for me is we have done a 5-year time skip right after probably the single most monumentous event that has taken place in this entire story, in this world, for the people that reside in it. One of the mother crystals just vanished right in front of their very eyes. Like, that's a significant source of power and control over the realms and the territories that they're in. If you're living in Sanbreque and you just witness Drake's head just disappear on you in an instant, that's going to have significant political movements and like uproar. Things are going to go completely upside down. Like, what the hell's going on? Like, I want to know what that place looks like right now. I want to know the state of everything, and it's incredible how much of a beautiful world they have built here, where I'm so invested in that political game. I'm so invested in how things affect the world, even in smaller increments. But I said this at the end of last episode, with there being a 5-year time gap. So I'm like, I don't want to miss a day of the events that have taken place in this story's timeline. And we've jumped forward 5 years, and I'm like, I want to see what happened. It is easier to time skip sometimes, because then instead of showing, you just tell of like, you know, yes, this happened. It's much easier to do that than to have it play out. But God, I'm so damn curious, you know, because that is for people who have lived in this world and like they get raised on stories of, and you know, there's the fairy tales and history of the mother crystals and all of this kind of stuff. You're raised in this world, and then something happens where the big one just disappears. Something like that. I don't even think it seems like that's ever happened, because the mother crystals have existed before the fallen civilization, according to the lore. You know, that's crazy. And we've just gone 5 years later.
How good it is to see you, Clive. I still remember
the day I first met Tet and Crow, chasing their father about the hideaway one moment, clinging to their mother's kirtle the next. The twins' love for their parents was something to behold, so fierce and pure. When they passed, I feared the void they left in the children's lives could never be filled. Neither spoke, nor smiled for years, hiding themselves away here in the shelves to bury their sorrows in the leaves of these tomes.
And thank goodness they did.
For I believe the stories proved a welcome distraction, as over time their pain faded, and now they laugh and frolic as they once did, if not with more vigor. They remind us that no matter how deep our wounds, we all have the capacity to heal. And for that, and that happiness lost may be found again.
It has been difficult, certainly.
When Titan visited his wrath upon us on that dreadful night, we lost much. He robbed us not only of our home and our loved ones, but of that which Cid fought fiercest to preserve, our hope. Hope that we might never have found again, had you had not taken his name and become our light in the darkness.
Had you not led us here.
To Benumir and the Invincible, where among the ghosts of the fallen our journey can continue. Here, in the belly of a Leviathan untouched by the passing of 1,000 years, does our hope burn brighter than ever. Here may it burn for 1,000 more. I want to know where exactly this location is on the map. Maybe I can look at that with Vivian, actually.
Look around you.
While it is a far cry from the Imperial Library in Oriflamme, in 5 short years we have amassed more volumes than most men or women might hope to see in their lifetime. No longer are the tales they contain hidden away from all but the privileged. We have liberated them, that they may fill the minds of all who hunger for knowledge.
Still,
there is much more out there, and as long as I draw breath, I shall continue to gather what I can.
Why?
One day, a chronicle of your own adventures might even grace these shelves, or failing that, the floor. Alright.
Piled some new entries.
I've got so much for you, Hippocrates. Update the tomes. Oh my god.
What
okay.
subject shall we consider today?
It's time. Let's have a look at everything, of which this is still empty. What is that? Okay. I love this subtle change 5 years later. Like, he's got like just a little bit more hair. They've even added they've added more wear on his gear. Like, his clothing has a little more wear to it. It's not exactly the same. That's a neat detail. The brand has been burned off. His eyes are different. I wanted to point that out before as well, that his eyes are more cloudy now. He could have a little bit more of a beard. Okay. 5 years on, an Imperial bearer turned ally of Cid the Outlaw. In truth, however, he is something much more. Not only the firstborn of the Archduke of Rosaria, but also the dominant of Efreet with the ability to absorb the powers of other icons. In the 5 years since the fall of Drake's head and the death of his mentor, he and Jill have strived to continue Cid's legacy, the light of Ramu forever in his heart. God, you know what? God damn. Me saying that it feels like the game has just begun, it does feel like that. Like, it feels like this is like part 2. Like, we were like properly in like Act 1, which was just the setup, and now we're in the actual game. And it takes like this Empire Strikes Back feeling to it now. After Cid fell and his hideaway was reduced to rubble at the hands of Hugo Kupka, Clive took on both his predecessor's name and role, becoming the second Cid the Outlaw and leader of the re-established resistance. Together with the other survivors and their new recruits, he continues Cid's mission to emancipate bearers and rid the realm of mother crystals. And that's another thing. In 5 years, there hasn't been another successful mother crystal attack, you know? I'd think the second easiest one to take on would be Drake's breath, I would assume. Can you believe that we still have not gotten an update on our own mother yet? I'm actually kind of shocked that we haven't seen our mother appear in the story yet since the year 860. So it's been 18 years now since we've seen her in the timeline. Joshua Rosfield update. a mysterious hooded man who many believe to be a dominant of fire. He is never seen outside the company of his faithful attendant. After being captured by Benedicta's intelligences and imprisoned in Cair Norvent, he slipped free of his bonds and escaped to Phoenix Gate. Because you see it, right? And this is the funny thing, is I was looking for the earring on his ear to see if it was there, and you see him and you instantly go, it's the red hair. You know, that's Joshua grown up, but how? But that's the power of the Phoenix, baby. It's rebirth. He appeared in front of Clive during the Night of Flames, saying, like, you know, we found you. So I guess that was Ultima taking, like, I don't know. Weird stuff. Dominant of the Phoenix and former heir to the ducal throne, Joshua was thought to have died at the hands of the second Icon of Fire during the disaster at Phoenix Gate. However, he is very much alive, traveling the realm even now, his true identity hidden by a heavy cowl and an assumed name, that of Lord Margrace. Unmasked. Jill literally just has not changed at all, really. I don't think her character model looks any different 5 years on. No change. We've already read most of that. So talented physical attire, who knows back to health. 5 years have now passed since the fall of Drake's head, and she and Clive continue Sid's mission to emancipate bearers and rid the realm of mother crystals. Dominant of Shiva and trusted confidant of Clive, leader of the new hideaway. Together they continue Sid's mission. Okay. Nothing new for Jill. Also the fact that we had this significant event take place with the mother crystals that resulted in Sid becoming Ramu and Clive Ifrit, but Jill almost like refuses to like even semi-prime or transform into Shiva again. So I'm expecting it at some point, and I'll be curious to see how it'll come into the story. But she hasn't done much. She hasn't done much at all. Clive's faithful friend. He is fiercely protective of him, and he's kind of, has he aged much? He hasn't really aged much in 5 years. How long does Torgal live for? Hopefully forever. He's a little more white in the face, it looks like. A little more white on the back of his head. He's getting a bit up there in years. He is fiercely protective of him and his allies, loath as he is to lose his best friend again, and never strays far from Clive's side, putting the hunting skills Sid taught him to use in fending off foes and picking up trails. Where is this goddamn bird? Let me tell you. Where is this bird? I've been waiting for Ambrosia to come back the whole game, and we're another 5 years later. Someone is looking after Ambrosia. Somewhere. Sidolphus Telemann, leader of the Hideaway and dominant of Rama, Warden of Thunder. He plans to create a world where bearers and dominants could die on their own terms, meant destroying the mother crystals as an act of blasphemy that would see him forever denounced as an outlaw. It was during their mission to fell Drake's head in 873 that Sidolphus Telemann lost his life to a beast from the beyond, passing the title of Sid the Outlaw onto his protege Clive. Permanent economic advisor to the Dalmakian Parliament and dominant of Titan, he has little love for his country, taking advantage of his position to benefit himself and himself alone. After learning that Sid the Outlaw, the man who slew the love of his life, Benedicta Harmon, still lives, he tasks his personal guard with capturing and torturing bearers in order to draw out his nemesis and take his revenge. Not a good strategic move to take on the name of Clive when this is sort of going on. You could just be like, hey, Sid died, by the way. Settle down, fella. Sid's dead. Just so you know. I'll be interested in seeing these characters again. See how different they are 5 years on. He is in charge of all the monies and information coming into and going out of the hideaway. Good old Otto. Hasn't changed a bit in 5 years. We've not seen Gav yet. Is he going to have a big boss eye patch? I can't wait to find out. Or a glass eye like Karen. There's a lot of people losing their eyes. After Sid's hideaway was laid waste to by Hugo Kupka and his minions, she and her hard-working yet long-suffering apprentice Goots followed Clive to the new hideaway in Benumir, where they serve him in the same capacity they served his predecessor, sourcing whatever supplies her fellow residents are in need of. Goots is an apprentice to Karen, an ally of the hideaway. After Sid's hideaway was reduced to rubble, he followed his nan in joining Clive at their new home on the lake. He has a keen interest in smithing and spends what little spare time he is granted heating and hammering metal, just as Blackthorn showed him. So he's the apprentice smith. He knows his hammer from his cock. In resident blacksmith, where he keeps the new Sid the Outlaw and his allies well outfitted with arms and armor. Though he is usually a sullen and secretive sort, his knowledge he is happy to share with Goots, who has long been eager to learn the art of smithing. This is probably our most important 1,000 tomes session as well, because this is obviously the 5-year gap where we're like, what the hell is going on here? You know? Like, what is going on in this place? So getting all of this and reading and discussing it is very important. I understand that there's probably a lot of people that aren't going to stay and listen to it because it's not for them, and that's okay. But if you're here and you're soaking up the Final Fantasy lore with me, I love you. Hippocrates II Hyperboreos. After Sid's death and the destruction of his home, he joined Clive at the new hideaway, establishing a grand library within the walls of the fallen ruin, from whence he continues to share his knowledge with any who will listen. He has taken the orphan twins, Tet and Crow, as his apprentices, though they have yet to prove the most attentive audience. Vivian Ninetails, so extra, so fashionable. A scholar and strategist who makes her home in the hideaway, analyzing every shred of information that comes in from the wider world in order to divine the dispositions of the realm's armies and those who lead them. She offers her insight to Clive that he might better understand the lay of the land. The moniker Ninetails, of which she herself is fond, was gifted her by her fellow scholars in recognition of her abilities to speak at length on almost any subject. She loves to talk. I would love to know how she came into the hideaway and sort of that meeting and everything. Maeve is the landlady of the Tub and Crown, the hideaway's much-loved alehouse. Though she was born in Rosaria, her enslavement as a bearer saw her transported to Sanbreque to work its wheat fields. However, when the farmer was unhappy with the harvest and thought to make an example of her fellow slaves, the Cursebreakers stepped in instead to teach him the error of his ways. Kenneth is the chief cook at Sid's hideaway, who lost his life on the night of Hugo Kupka's attack. He was well loved both for his ever-genial nature and the toothsome fare he concocted from the limited ingredients available in their Deadland home. Indeed, many of Kenneth's dishes remain on the menu in Clive's new hideaway. So Kenneth didn't make it. Obulus, an old friend of Otto's from his merchant seaman days, now serving as ferryman between the shores of Benumir and Clive's hideaway. Knowing him to be a trustworthy and tight-lipped fellow, Otto invited him to join their cause after Sid's death, that he and his trusty skiff might help them build and operate their new hideaway in the lake. So, okay, it's the hideaway icon is where the old hideaway used to be, but we're somewhere else on the map, and that's where I want to know where we are. A lake somewhere. One of a pair of young twins who assist Hippocrates in the hideaway library, or at least are tasked to. In practice, he spends most of his time reading books and teasing tomes with his sister Crow. Though their parents were both bearers, Tet was spared that burden. Alas, he was not spared the tragedy of losing both his mother and father when Sid's hideaway was laid low. Also, the same description for Crow, pretty much. That's the perks being twins. Victor is a friend of Sid's and later Clive's, who keeps an ever-attentive vigil on the comings and goings in Dalmatia from his hometown of Cosnus. It's crazy looking at all of the characters here that are still empty and being like, God damn, who else is going to be here? Alright, this is what I want to see. Oh, I'm so glad that they gave a lore note to Medicine Girl. Alright, this asshole, the mysterious Watcher, which is the reason for the whole hideaway's destruction. Scion of a lesser noble family of Dalmatia, tasked by Hugo Kupka to trace the whereabouts of Sid the Outlaw, the man he believes slew Benedict de Harmon. His investigations led him to Eastpool, where he overhears Clive and Gav's conversation, follows them back to Sid's hideaway. The medicine girl is an orphan girl who pays for her bread by making and selling medicines. Good lore note right there. That's very worthy of being in the tomes. She will be remembered. Ultima. This is what I've been waiting to look at. An otherworldly being that Clive encountered in the inner sanctum of Drake's Head. He addressed Clive as Mythos before attempting to merge their consciousnesses. However, Clive was able to summon the will to resist the creature before Joshua returned from the dead to imprison it in a cage of flame that he sealed away in his own heart. Huh? Kingdom Hearts is light. So Joshua has performed the magic of Kingdom Hearts and sealed Ultima in his heart in a cage of flame. Well, there's no way, right? There's no way that Ultima doesn't come back up again in any capacity. Ultima seems like the big bad. And if Ultima is imprisoned within Joshua, that doesn't bode too well, I don't think. But this kind of stuff is fantastic. And if this is going to end up being the beginnings of like setting up maybe the final element of this story, I am very excited, because this can just get really fucking weird if they want it to. Otherworldly being, he could be the Fallen. This could be the Fallen civilization. They could be literally beings, otherworldly beings from another dimension. It could be to do with the moon, Meteor up there as well, the red star. There's just so much to think about what it could be. It's so exciting. So exciting. I'm really curious to see what's going to happen with Ultima and Joshua. And also, where the fuck is he? You know, like, we get reunited and then that's it. I wonder if Clive even remembers that he saw him briefly before passing out. Like, is that going to be addressed? I would hope so. Okay, this is what I want to know. A lake in the Blighted Lands on the southern edge of the former Grand Duchy of Rosaria, named for the dragon that some tales say created the basin when it fell from the sky. Fallen airships dot its expansive waters like forgotten cenotaphs, leading some to liken it to a graveyard. Its remote location, far from any trade route and deep inside the Deadlands, made it an obvious choice for Clive when faced with rebuilding Sid's legacy. Right, southern edge of the former Grand Duchy of Rosaria. Established under the leadership of Clive Rosfeld, who took on the title of Cid after his former leader's passing and Titan's destruction of the old hideaway, here a community of like-minded individuals from across the realm has gathered to build a place where people can live and die on their own terms. Like its predecessor, it is built within fallen ruins deep within the Deadlands of Central Storm. Decidedly unlike its predecessor, however, it is located in the center of a lake, Benjamir, across whose waters any invading enemy can easily be spotted long before their arrival. Hidden refuge. Here, Sid and his adopted family of freed bearers from across the Twins made their home. That is until the fledgling utopia was brought crashing down after its location was discovered by Hugo Kupka, dominant of Titan in the year 873. In but a single night, the hideaway was destroyed, fewer than half managing to escape the slaughter visited upon them by Kupka and his men. I feel like the hideaway was an obvious thing that was going to eventually fall. It just didn't seem like it was going to be safe for long. Good hideaway for a time until one person follows you and it's all over. Okay, an update to Valistea. Timeless that it is until Cid and his disciples commence their campaign to bring each one with the mother crystals crashing down, spreading chaos and confusion throughout the great cities and nations of Valistea. I wish we could have seen that. I wish we could have seen the reactions to each of these locations, these big cities and empires and their leaderships reacting to a mother crystal's destruction, and then how much they are going to then think about their own mother crystals. You know, like, I want to know. An assault by Hugo Kupka, dominant of Titan and his private guard, on the first hideaway of Sid the Outlaw in the year 873. The safe haven established amongst forgotten ruins long consumed by the Blight was entirely destroyed, and many of Sid's collaborators and the bearers they had freed from servitude were slain. Alright, let's have a look at... Yeah, this is the stuff where I think that we... There we go. I thought that it's a good idea to check this stuff because we accidentally clicked on some codex entries like Drake's Head. So, the mother crystal upon whose wings did Sanbreque ascend to geopolitical supremacy, it towered over the holy capital of Oriflamme, its mighty silhouette a testament to the power and permanence of the Empire, and then, in the year 873, it fell at the hand of Sid the Outlaw. So, this is something that's important, is... looking at codex entries with Vivian marks them as red with tomes as well, so you have to kind of keep that in mind. In the year 873, Sid the Outlaw, along with certain of his allies, infiltrated the Sanbrequois capital of Oriflamme, bringing down its mother crystal in a daring and unprecedented attack. Investigations after the fact concluded that the infiltrators took advantage of the disturbance caused by an aether flood to gain entry to the Empire's holy sanctum. In the aftermath of the incident, Sid was declared a wanted man, and the faction he led a criminal enterprise to be hounded across Valisthea. So, those the heart of the mother crystals is able to be destroyed by an icon's attack. So we're definitely able to take it out. After suffering the ignominy of losing Drake's Head to an audacious assault by the outlaw Sid in 873, the Empire set its sights of the mother crystal of its nearest neighbor, the Crystalline Dominion. So we got that scene with Sylvester when he was talking about having the army move down and go and conquer that location and like chop, get to work. So it's just good timing that they all moved out by the time that we moved in to go take out Drake's Head. So they went from one mother crystal to another. Sanbreque's legions duly stormed the historically neutral territory and installed the imperial capital at Twinside. This brazen act of conquest sent shockwaves across Valisthea and heightened the already considerable tension between the Empire and the Dalmatian Republic. It would have been cool to see that, I reckon. Oriflamme is the former capital of the Holy Empire of Sanbreque. After its mother crystal was destroyed in an attack by Sid the Outlaw, the decision was made to move the throne and her army south to the Crystalline Dominion, regardless of whether or not the Dominion's citizens approved. Oriflamme has since fallen gradually into decline, having lost the mother's blessings and all the benefits it brought. I really hope that we get to go back here because I want to see the transformation of this place and how it was beautiful and well kept and gorgeous. And I want to see it just shit now. I want to see if that is like had such a visual impact on the world with the loss of Aether in the land. I assume it would be more susceptible to the blight in that sense. Only one way to find out is if we're able to revisit it. I hope so. When Sanbreque moved its capital to the Crystalline Dominion, Northreach went from being a vital gateway to the seat of the Empire to a forgotten country backwater in a matter of moons, and with the fall of Drake's Head, the Aether was soon leached from the lands around it, leaving the fields fallow, and the once thriving environs barren and lifeless. Okay. So you can imagine it, what it looks like in your head, but I want to see it. Okay. Kupka, obsessed with finding Sid and exacting his revenge for the murder of Benedicta Harmon, co-opted the soldiers of the realm and had them commit a series of atrocities in an attempt to flush him out of hiding. Alright, we've got the Men of the Rock, which is Hugo Kupka's personal guard. On Kupka's orders, they ruthlessly gutted and destroyed Sid's original hideaway, vengeance for the brutal beheading of Benedicta Harmon. Well, I mean, it was... we didn't really behead her. her body was intact. Someone else must have beheaded her, right? But Kupka's thirst for revenge is not yet slaked, and it is with reckless abandon that he employs his minions to commit atrocities across the realm. Kosnes is a town located in the rugged northern reaches of the Dalmatian Republic. Though it was once a thriving trading post, the coming of the Blight has served to both discourage travelers as well as drive off long-time residents. All that now remain are refugees fleeing from elsewhere, the black marketeers who prey upon them, and barely enough soldiers to keep the peace, or rather, to pretend to when they're not being bribed to look the other way. Kingdom of Waloed. Okay, we get to see following the occupation of Twinside. Dominant of Odin and Warden of Darkness, who has long harbored ambitions of extending his reach into the neighboring continent of Storms, somewhat surprisingly, the Sambuqua Empire's incursion into the Crystalline Dominion prompted no immediate response from the king, who appears to be biding time and considering his next move for 5 years. 5 years of biding time? Seems sus. The Crystalline Dominion, a once independent state straddling the continents of Storm and Ash. Its capital, Twinside, is built on the tiny Isles of Ark, from which its mother crystal, Drake's Tail, rises. So we've got what? Drake's Head, Breath, and Tail. What's the fourth mother crystal called again? I've forgotten. This is why we have this goddamn tomes, man. It'll be Mysteries of the Realm, won't it? What are they called? I've forgotten the names of them all. Drake's Tail, Head, Breath. What's the other one? Big Crystal, they've decided to call it. They're like, we'll call this one Big Crystal. Maybe its name hasn't been revealed, or maybe I've just forgotten it. After so much lore, you start to need reminders on some of the earlier stuff, that's for sure. Oh no, hang on. We've got Drake's Breath. So I think we do have the... We do have some of them. Drake's Head. And then Drake's Breath. Drake's Tail has not been given to us yet, I guess. After Drake's Head was destroyed in 873, the Holy Empire of Sambrek declared Twinside its new capital in defiance of the long-standing non-aggression treaty. While controversial, the move, carried out by Prince Dion and his Knights Dragoon, proceeded mostly unopposed, largely due to the Dominion's lack of a dominant of its own with which to intimidate the interlopers. I wish we could have seen that. I would have, like how we got the Belinus Tor cutscene, I would have loved to have seen a cutscene conquering the Crystalline Dominion. That would have been awesome. A pact in which which was codified the agreement between nations to refrain from invading the Crystalline Dominion and laying claim to its mother crystal, Drake's Tail. It both cemented the Dominion's position at the center of world politics and placed checks on the ability of key players to exploit that position. Okay. Now let's have a look at Mysteries of the Realm. Ethereal tolerance is the ability to resist the effects of ethereal exposure. This is higher in bearers and dominance, allowing them to survive concentrations of aether that would turn any human who lacks their gift. Some animals, including chocobos, also have a natural resistance to the effects of aether, but one of the many reasons why the birds are so beloved across the twins. We can only assume that Torgal is also exempt from aether exposure. Magic barriers. Some dominants have the ability to call upon a part of their icon's power to summon a ward, a nigh-impervious barrier that no magic nor matter can cross. However, its maintenance requires a continuous channeling of aether through the summoner's flesh, taking a heavy toll upon them. The larger the barrier, the greater the burden. It's cool to see some types of Final Fantasy related spells and magics like barrier or reflect or wall or whatever you want to call it. As much as I wish that we could see and cast these spells at will. It would be great if we could use, like, we could cast Protect with our spells. Have a defensive iconic ability would be cool. Priming. The act of a dominant transforming their living flesh into that of their icon. Priming does not require a continual draw on the aether. It is rather maintained by the constant channeling of the vast quantities of aether imbued within the dominant's own body. This allows dominants to remain primed even when they enter the aetherless deadlands, but also results in the crystal's curse taking a heavy toll on them with every act of priming. Airship. The men and women of the present day are wont to repurpose these ruins for their own uses, both the village of Lostwing and Clive's hideaway in Benumir being built around the wreckage of a fallen airship. Are we being just teased with them being airships and we'll never get to see one fly, or are we just getting constantly teased until we get to fly an airship, you know? Beasts. Animals whose evolution has been warped by exposure to aether, some gaining the ability to cast magics. Unlike bearers, however, they seem to have developed little aetherial tolerance, so it is not uncommon to encounter akashic beasts in the vicinity of aether floods. Wild beasts are sometimes tamed by humans for use in warfare, the soldiers of Sanbreque having a particular fondness for those descendants of ancient dragons. Okay. Cid the Outlaw is the leader of the faction believed responsible for the shattering of Drake's head in 873. With this single act of infamy, Cid's name quickly spread to the four corners of Valistea and beyond. Mythos is the name by which Ultima addresses Clive. It appears to be his title for the vessel for limitless power that he means to make of the young Lord Marquess, but to what end he requires such a thing only Ultima knows. Well, a vessel that can absorb and hold on to the powers of every icon is probably quite a suitable vessel indeed. It appears to be synonymous with mythos. Interesting. Okay. Ramu, the Warden of Thunder whose power most lately awakened within Sidolphus Telemon. Dominants of the icon most often emerge among descendants of the Motes of Thunder, a tribe who once dwelled in the lands of Central Ash, lands that the Kingdom of Waloed now lays claim to. Mayhap in part due to the tribe's comparatively advanced learning, Ramu is associated with wisdom and judgment to this day. Now, I'm quite curious because Garuda and Ramu are now perished. How long it can, I think it might have been established, but how long it may take for a new dominant to be chosen or to appear. I'll assume that we probably won't see them again, but we possess their abilities. We possess a portion of their power, but we would not be able to prime into them, for example. We can only prime into Efreet, but we're able to utilize powers of other icons, which is kind of cool. Typhon is seemingly drawn to the destruction of the heart of Drake's head. Ultima emerged from a tear in reality wearing the skin of Typhon, a withered and wizened colossus, and drew Clive into a space between worlds wherein the ethereal entity might test his worth as a vessel. Okay. So this is important. Ultima emerged. So it was Ultima, like, puppeting the skin of Typhon. So it's like an unofficial icon in this group here. Huh. Panthers are archetypal predators known best for their brilliant spotted coats and a proclivity to lives of solitude. As is the case with most felines, the animals are severely strong-willed, and efforts by the Republican army to harness their inborn speed and ferocity for use on the battlefield has been met with varying degrees of success. And they got fancy bracelets as well. That is the tomes. At least I think it is the tomes. In terms of everything. There may have been a couple of ones that we may have accidentally clicked on and missed checking the map with Vivian, which is unfortunate, but I think that I managed to catch a couple that I checked on. I'm very excited to get some updates to some of these in particular. I want to know what the hell's going on with Joshua and Ultima, as well as the fact that we have so many unfilled. And there are so many characters in this game that it's kind of hilarious that there are, like I said, there are characters that I thought would have so much more of a presence in the game that are gone, and then other characters that are still alive that we only get to see brief little moments or like looks at. Like, surely Annabella is aware of Clive's existence in some capacity. Like, surely. I'm really
and everything you needed?
Really hyped up for that potential reunion. Especially knowing that Joshua lives as well. Like, there are so many elements to this game that I'm really looking forward to getting some more exposure on and hoping that we do, you know? Like, more of Clive, more of Joshua.
And you're already off solving everyone's problems. It looks good, Clive. Goes well with the scowl.
I'd had that brand for so long. I'd forgotten what life was like without it. What it was like to be myself. And it's all thanks to you, Talia.
The scalpel did most of the work. Ah, before I forget, a rider was here with a letter from Gav. Otto left it on your desk.
Otto stole us. All right, I'll have a look.
And then you get some rest.
Taya,
worthy of a letter.
Taya is a total babe. That must be established. Taya is best girl.
Have you been to the toll? I hear a new shipment's just arrived.
Where does Jill sleep? Oh, hello. We got Clive's chambers. Surely Jill doesn't sleep in the bunks. Where do you sleep, Jill? On the couch? You share this single bed with me, mayhap? Oh, actually, that's not a single bed. It's a pretty shitty double bed, but there's only one pillow. So, I don't know.
Otto was here earlier with a letter from Gav. He left it on your desk.
Is there an echo in here? Surely Jill can serve more of a purpose than to be an echo. The reading table reports letters and other important missives addressed to Clive are delivered to the reading table in his chambers. New messages are always arriving, so make it a point to check the reading desk upon returning to the hideaway. The Republic's play. Oh, nice. There we go. There's his character model. He's not wearing an eye patch, damn it. He's just sporting that scarred eye. He's not even getting a replacement glass eye. Come on, Gav, you can do better than that. Where's Gav's eye patch? Arr! The Republican army marches on the Empire at Twinside, and the men of the Rock have been summoned to the front. Something big is brewing, I reckon. I'll see you're done to wear upon my return. He's still doing his scouting for us, though. Dude, I cannot wait for the fact that we are going to fight Titan at some point. Like, that's a definite. I don't know how the hell that's going to work. You do fight Titan in Final Fantasy 15, and Titan is obviously enormous, so I wonder if it might be similar to that, but I'd expect that it would do something new and something new in terms of taking it on.
The Republican army is on the march, leaving Randalar in Hugo Kupka's charge. With him and his men occupied with the defense of the capital, they're less likely to trouble us.
Good news, then.
It's more than that. This is our chance, the one we've been waiting for.
Second Mother Crystal's destruction.
But look how far we've come. All that we have here, our friends, the hideaway, are they not cause for joy?
5 years. 5 long years. If I could only command this power I've been granted, we might have achieved so much more. But each time I reach for it, it's like something is holding me back.
Summoning an icon exacts a price not easily paid.
Your body knows this only too well. It's merely trying to save you from yourself.
And every burden I cannot bear falls to you.
This mission of ours has made me question everything I thought I knew. But one thing has become abundantly clear. The crystals take more than they give. In exchange for momentary comfort, we must endure a lifetime of pain, war after war, loss upon loss. And now they rob us of our very homes, leaving naught but dust and ash. But you're trying to change that. We're trying to change that. And to me, that's no burden.
I know, but...
Try not to forget. We're only here because Joshua gave us a second chance. It would be a pity to waste such a precious gift.
He did. He was there. It wasn't an illusion. I heard him call out to Ultima.
Damn. Okay. I'm glad they're addressing this.
If Joshua is still alive, he'll be looking for that thing.
Do you think he will ever come back?
I know he will. And we must be ready when he does. To a world without mother crystals. To Sid.
Every time the classic Final Fantasy music plays, I get as hard as the Mother Crystal themselves. God damn. There he is. I was literally... Okay, I just need to pause for a second. Oh my god! I was literally about to be like, I wonder what he looks like 5 years later, because he's younger than Clive, so he'll go through more of like a physical change within like a 5-year gap as well. I didn't expect to jump to him immediately. Okay. He's got a fancy new outfit. This is cool. Okay. I really appreciate that scene because I was like, surely Clive is going to remember. Are they going to address the fact that he saw him, or is he going to be like, oh man, maybe I was like hazy? I'm so glad that they set it in stone, that they're like, Joshua gave us that chance. They know he's alive. But what that also confirms is they haven't seen each other in 5 years again. Like, he appeared and then he's just gone. Like, oh, they are teasing us so hard with a reunion of brothers here that it's like they know that they're both alive and are aware of each other's existence. And he's given him a little Phoenix Flame souvenir to hold on to, which is kind of really cool. Like, he's just been holding on to this Phoenix Flame for years. And apparently it doesn't allow it's not flammable, which is nice. But they just haven't seen each other in 5 years. Look at this new outfit. Dominant of the Phoenix and former heir to the ducal throne, Joshua was thought to have died at the hands of the second Icon of Fire during the disaster at Phoenix Gate. However, he somehow survived, appearing before his brother once more some 13 years later in the inner sanctum of Drake's Head, and saving Clive from Ultima's advances by calling upon the power of the Phoenix to seal the being within himself. I wonder if sealing Ultima inside of you is going to have negative consequences, however. Companion and protector of Joshua Rosfield, dominant of the Phoenix, as loyal as she is dangerous, her blade is ever at the ready for any who might mean her master ill, and her tonics ever at hand to heal the sickly prince's hurts. Joshua addresses her by the name Yote or Jote, but it is unclear whether this is her true name or another pseudonym. Nice. She a girlfriend for Joshua, though?
And so the North is lost.
I knew that the blight spread ever more swiftly, Your Grace. But this is far, far worse than any could have imagined.
It is only a matter of time before the twins are no more. The world marches ever closer to its end, and here we chase shadows. Tell me, brother, are our efforts in vain?
Master Clive, a moment, if you... my apologies, I didn't mean to... intrude.
Not at all. We were just discussing strategy.
Speak freely, Otto.
It's Martha, from the inn. She's gone missing. Anyway, I'll be in the mess when you've finished.
Very well.
Interrupted my drink with my fair lady. The gathering storm. My God.
Would make Martha leave the rest.
They really teased us with the Joshua scene. But just it. They're like, let's just show you Joshua and Jote and see what they're up to. Oh, Martha's here. That Martha, right. Makes sense. Cool.
If something has happened to Martha, we need to speak with Otto.
Looks like we may be departing, and that will bring this episode to an end in that case. So we've revisited some old friends at a new hideaway. We're in an airship in this massive location, and it's been our big old lore episode as we've taken in things with tomes and gotten a lay of the land, and I expect there will probably be more of that for us to take in soon as well. But we will be bringing this episode of Final Fantasy XVI to a close. A little bit of a shorter episode after we had a big old 3-hour episode last time. Something a little more chill to just bring us back up to speed with the 5 years that have passed. And we are gearing up for essentially the next chapter of the game and some big movements ahead. So thank you so much for joining me for this episode of Final Fantasy XVI. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.